Alright, so the fourth deck I want to show you guys is my Underworld Dreams deck. It's named in honor of this card here, Underworld Dreams. Now this is a really cool card. 3 mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent draws a card, this deals 1 damage to them. This deck is used mostly in multiplayer, and it works very, very well in multiplayer. So whenever any opponent draws a card, this thing deals damage to all of them, basically. And if you have multiples of them out, then, you can do multiples amount of damage, which is great. I don't have many creatures in the deck. I think I only have, like... This deck used to have no creatures at all because it's an anti-creature deck. But I think I might have put some creatures in it now. Let's go over, okay. Portcullis. I have a lot of cards in this deck that make it hard for the opponent to either attack me or to have creatures on the board. Or to have any creatures on the board, yeah. Okay, this card, whenever any creature comes on the battlefield, if there's 2 or more creatures in the battlefield, then that creature gets exiled until this artifact is destroyed. So that's a way of preventing the opponent from attacking me and having a lot of creatures. So token decks are rest in peace. You create your infinite tokens? I don't think so. You're only allowed to have 2. Howling Mine, great multiplayer card. Every player draws an additional card every turn. That's basically what this does. Yeah, it's great. Mox Opal, I have a lot of artifacts in this deck. I can tap to add 1 mana to my mana pool. And this is 0 mana, by the way. 0 mana. If I have 3 or more artifacts, then I can add, which is Metalcraft, I can add 1 mana of any color to my mana pool. So good. This is a great enchantment. 4 mana, whenever a creature deals damage to me, destroy it. Pretty simple, pretty effective. And yeah, keeps the creatures off me. Sun Droplet, this is another great multiplayer card. Whenever I'm dealt damage, this thing gets that many charge counters, and then every player's upkeep, then I remove a charge counter and I gain 1 life. So I slowly gain all the life back I lost when this is in play. Yeah, when this is in play, it's on the battlefield. Whatever damage they dealt to me, I gradually gain it back when every player's turn, which is great. Underworld Dreams, talked about this already, central card of this deck. This is very similar to Underworld Dreams, Spiteful Visions. It costs 1 mana more, but this one is 3 black mana. Actually, I think this deck's all black. Yeah, it's mono black anyways, but anyways, this is 2 colors and 2 black anyways. Yeah, at the beginning of each player's card, that player draws a card and then deals 1 damage when they draw that card. So basically, this is a combination of Howling Mine and Underworld Dreams into 1 card. This does both of them, and then so this is a really good card. I know it does damage to yourself. Actually, it says each player, so it actually does damage to yourself. Underworld Dreams only does damage to opponents. That's the drawback of this card, but the benefits outweigh the drawbacks because I have so many cards that support this strategy. Font of Mythos. Beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws 2 additional cards, deals more damage with Underworld Dreams in play. Dark Ritual is really awesome. 1 mana to add 3 mana to your mana pool for 1 turn. It's basically just play this, play Dark Ritual, Underworld Dreams on the first turn. Great opening there. Bloodchief Ascension looks complicated, but basically it's 1 mana enchantment. On every player's turn, if they lost 2 or more life that turn, then I get a counter on this. If this has 3 or more counters, and then a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, which means that if a creature died, if a opponent died, if they discarded a card, that player loses 2 life, and I gain 2 life. So that's actually going to happen very often, that an opponent loses 2 or more life every turn because of Underworld Dreams and other cards I have in this deck. Teferi's Puzzle Box. Basically means that at every player's turn, every turn that player puts all the cards back from his hand into the bottom of his library, then draws that many cards. So basically that player's hand gets shuffled into a new hand every turn, and this makes them take a ton of damage from Underworld Dreams, right? Every time they draw a card, deals 1 damage. If they're redrawing cards every turn, Teferi's Puzzle Box does a ton of damage to them. Okay, this is probably don't have any creatures in this duration. No, I don't think I have any creatures in this one then. This is very, very anti-creature card. Whenever a creature comes into play, enters the battlefield, its controller sacrifices a creature or land. So this is obviously very bad for opponents who are playing creatures. So if I don't have any creatures in this deck, I don't get affected by it. And a lot of people hate playing against this deck because of all the anti-creature cards in this deck. Valkyrie Tower, I have no maximum hand size. Very useful because I have Howling Mine, which makes me draw a lot of cards. Sculpting Steel, 3 mana to copy any artifact in the battlefield. And yeah, I copy Howling Mine a lot. Copy Fauna Mythos. I can copy Teferi's Puzzle Box to make them draw a shit ton more cards. Yeah, a lot of targets to copy. Or Sun Droplet, you know, I can gain. If I've double Sun Droplet on the battlefield, that means I gain back double the life that I lost, which means that it's actually futile for them to ever do damage to me if I have 2 or more Sun Droplets on the field. Miko Koro is a legendary land, 2 mana, each player draws a card. I want them to draw as many cards as they can because of Underworld Dreams. Then I got Black Vice here. If the opponent has more than 4 or more cards in their hand, which they're likely to have if they're drawing on a lot of cards, then Black Vice deal 1 damage for each card more than 4. So they'll take a maximum of 3 damage every turn because I have 7 cards. Yeah. Anyways, it's 1 mana to play that, so it's really cool. Ebony Owl Netsky is if each opponent has 7 or more cards in their hand, deals 4 damage. So this one deals 3 damage max, and if they have 7 cards, when this is on the field, it deals 4 damage. It's colorless damage too, so it's cool. Okay, Temple Bell. This is basically like Howling Mine, except it's a tap, and it's 1 mana more than Howling Mine. But anyways, the same effect. Make each player draw an extra card every turn. Same effect. Tangle Wire, a lot of people hate this card, hate to play against this card. Fading 4 means this dies after 4 turns, but every turn that player taps an untapped artifact, creature, or land they control for each counter on this. So that means when I play this, next turn every opponent I'm playing against, they have to tap 4 things. 4 artifact, creatures, or lands, which will prevent them, you know, from attacking or playing stuff. Then next turn 3, then next turn 2, then next turn 1. So it's extremely annoying card to play against. For me, it doesn't affect it that much because I can tap Tangle Wire first of all, and second of all, I have a lot of artifacts. I can tap like the Black Vice or something. You know, it doesn't affect me as much, but it affects them way more. What else do I have? Static Orb, another annoying card to play against. 3 mana. Players can't attack more than 2 permanents during their tap step. And when you're tapping a bunch of crap using Tangle Wire, then basically with these 2, it's like the opponent can't do anything, basically. They're just like, they can tap 2, and then they have to tap 4, so they're like, they can't do anything. So that's why people hate playing against this deck. Necropotence, 3 mana. I don't draw anymore, but I can pay 1 life to draw a card, basically. Whenever discarded, remove a card from the game, exile it, but paying 1 life to draw a card is incredibly powerful, so it's worth it. And what else do I have? Yes, Iron Maiden. This is a really good card for multiplayer. This is basically Black Vice that works for every player. Each opponent's upkeep deals 1 damage for every card more than 4. So basically this is a Black Vice on every player, whereas Black Vice only works on 1 player at a time. Iron Maiden works for every player. Every opponent, I would say, not every player, every opponent, they take 1 damage for every card more than 4. So that's really annoying for them. Memory Jar, basically the sacrifices, and every player has to draw 7 cards. Yeah, that's basically it. Each player exiles and then like exiles all the cards in their hand and draws 7 cards. So if I have Underworld Dreams on the board, every player takes 7 damage automatically if I do this. So that's pretty awesome. I think the rest I already went with. Yep, that's it. Yes, it is a very annoying deck to play against. No creatures in this deck, a lot of anti-creature cards, and a lot of cards that won't let you do anything and just make you just sit there and take damage from drawing cards. So that's it. That's the Underworld Dreams deck. Play this against your friends if you want them to hate you. That's all I gotta say.